All over YouTube, people are talking about how much money they make on Etsy. So I wanted to find out for myself. I set out on a 90-day journey to see how much money I can make selling a product on Etsy. My name is Bryce, and on this channel I'm sharing my personal finance and entrepreneurial adventures, so be sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this. When it comes to Etsy, you pretty much have two options. You have the physical product and you have the digital product. I personally, as a mechanical engineer, go in for the physical product. To determine the product that I wanted to sell, first I needed to find a problem. The problem that I found was that we were feeding our dogs different amounts of food each day. So being the mechanical engineer that I am, I jumped onto some CAD and I got to work. After making it on the CAD software, I transferred it over to my 3D printer and let it do its thing. I brought it up to a friend of mine and she mentioned that she wanted something similar for her dog. And that got me thinking, I wonder who else I could sell this product to. So then came Etsy and I did some market research to see what the competition looked like. So I jumped onto Etsy and looked up pet food scoop. I found that there was little competition in this market and that my product brought a different set of advantages to the market that other products did not have. In my market research, I found a second area where I could go above the competition, and that's with my pricing. So I went ahead and made an Excel sheet to determine the pricing that I should go for my product. I wanted to enter at a lower price point so that I could build up a reputation on Etsy as a newcomer to the Etsy shops. My Excel sheet helped me determine how much I should charge for my product, taking into consideration things like shipping and filament cost as I'm 3D printing this product. One thing I didn't count for is the fees that come with selling things on Etsy. This had a bigger impact on my profit than I expected. This is something I took into consideration whenever I changed my prices further down the road. Once I had my product locked in and my price, I took some pictures of my dog food scoop and I put it all up on Etsy. I also reached out to my friend who I mentioned earlier who was interested in buying a dog food scoop. She was my first sale on Etsy and she left me a review. So I made my cups and I put them on Etsy. Let's see how they actually did. I started out on September 16th, getting a shocking 2 orders on September 17th, the next day. However, those were my friend who I was talking about earlier and my girlfriend, so it didn't really count. I got my first actual sale on September 26th. I got 2 orders on September 26th. This brought in a total revenue of $25 on only September 26th. Now, something that was also happening over this time frame of about 10 days was my visits were increasing at a pretty good rate. Starting off at 0 visits on the first day, on September 26th I had 8 visits, so that means 8 people actually went into the link and followed into my product to see how it was. Etsy also gives you something called conversion rate. Conversion rate is based on how many visits you get on that day and how many orders you get. So on September 26th I had a conversion rate of 25%, meaning that I had 8 visits and 2 orders. So that means 25% of the people who visited my site purchased something from my site. After the 2 orders on September 26th, it took another 7 days to get another order in. But after that, they were starting to come in pretty consistently. 1 order on October 3rd, 2 orders on October 4th, and then a couple more coming in over the next 30 days. This was great to see. My store was gathering up visits and it was gathering up orders. This means at the end of my first 30 days, I had a total revenue of $220. I would say that's pretty good for the first 30 days being on an Etsy shop. Now that I'm 30 days in, I'm starting to get some more orders. Here I created an Excel sheet so I could track my orders and I could see my finances that were coming in and out based on how much I was spending on filament and how much I was paying in shipping. Filament is the plastic that is extruded out of the 3D printer. Usually this costs about $27 for 1,000 grams. So I was able to do the math and figure out how much that cost me per part. Days 30 through 60 went great. I was able to set into a flow for how each product came in and then went out. When I received an order, I would update it on my Excel sheet, and then I would go in and create a new CAD file for it. All I had to do was to change out the name for each cup that was ordered. I have a template saved, so this was a really quick process for me, and it kept the man hours for me down. After changing the name, I download it as an STL, and then I upload it into my 3D printing software. The printer prints the part, which usually takes anywhere from 10 to about 20 hours, depending on how big the cup is. Then I box it up, weigh it, and ship it. My products are all listed as free shipping, so I write down the shipping costs and I document that in my Excel sheet. Then I go drop the package off. Days 30 through 60, I ended up selling 16 total orders for a total revenue of $286. And today is December 16th, which marks 90 days of me selling my dog food scoop on Etsy. In total, I ended up with 728 visits to my site, 40 orders, with a conversion rate of 5.5%, that's orders compared to visits, and a total revenue of $852. Now we're going to jump over to the Excel sheet and we can look at see how much profit I actually pulled in over those 90 days.
So at the end of the 90 days, he had a total revenue of $852, like I said, with a total profit of only $149, or about 18% of that revenue. We had total expenses of $702. Etsy fees and processing fees all combined is about $100. Final shipping cost of $195 because I do have this as free shipping. And then a estimated expenses of random things like shipping costs of boxes and tape and printer parts of $111, and a final filament cost of $293.
On November 21st, I switched from version 1 to version 2 of my dog food scoop. The main difference being the shape of the handle. Version 2 has more of a curved coffee cup shape. This helped me improve my printing time, as well as making it so I didn't have to remove any supports inside of the handle, so less work for me after the print was completed. In version 2, I also increased the price. This was mainly because of the Etsy fees that I told you about earlier that I was not initially taking consideration of. I ended up increasing my prices by about 15% across the board. This helped push my profit margins a lot closer to 50% instead of the 35% that it ended up at because of the Etsy fees. I ended up not using Etsy ads as my product was ranking pretty high on a couple of the main search terms that I was shooting for on the Etsy website. Etsy has a tool that shows you where your product ranks in different search terms. Going forward, I am interested in using Etsy ads to try and push my product higher on broader search terms, such as pet food compared to pet food scoop. I will also be releasing a couple of new products that are also in the pet category. I'm interested to see how these products do and see if they can outperform my pet food scoop. If you guys have any 3D printed products that you think I should try and sell on Etsy, please leave them in the comments and maybe I'll give them a shot. Subscribe to the channel to see how successful my Etsy store is at the end of 6 months instead of 90 days. With a couple more products being released and improvements in SEO and ads, I'm excited to see how much I can grow the Etsy store. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.